No. Okay. You can call them out on those kind of issues. Further, if I'm talking to a borrower and they tell me they're spending $200 a month on cell phones for their family of 5, because each of the 3 children have their own, and they each need a texting plan, and, you know, et cetera, and they've got cable, $150 a month for cable, da-da-da-da-da. If I'm sitting with them on the phone from Chase in my dark suit that I'm not wearing right now and say, oh, you know what, you really need to consider reducing the cellular expense, maybe taking the kids' phones away, probably reducing cable down to basic, or maybe just cut it all together. Okay. To say they would tell us to go pound sand is putting it nicely, okay, because it's happened, okay? They don't want to hear that from us because they picture the stuffy banker with deep pockets, you know. They don't want to hear that from us, okay? So that's going to, if they've already had bad experiences with collections, that's going to put them even farther out there. Not to mention that sometimes the experience with collections isn't necessarily negative. They're just being asked for something they don't have, money. So they feel silly, they feel stupid. They don't want to talk to us. They'd rather talk to a trusted advisor, someone in their community, or at least someone that's not part of the big bad bank that they think is trying to take their home away, okay? So again, the reason that I'm here today, the reason that Chase is active and so much supports this initiative and others like it, is because we do believe in the work that you do as default counselors and the fact that you are far more likely to get a detailed, realistic financial analysis and the relevant documentation from the borrower than we are, okay? We don't get good response. We don't get factual response necessarily. So we look to you to provide that to us, thus the existence for this helpline that we hope you'll use. Joe presented a list of the documentation that is typical. I'm going to give you a little bit different list. Some of it's similar, some of it's different, because it is so dicey, servicer to servicer, what kind of information you will need. I have actually a list of 5 things that 9 times out of 10, if you gather these 5 things and provide it to the servicer, a workout decision will normally be able to be made. You might have to follow it up with 1 or 2 items, but in general, these 5 pieces should take care of it. And that would be obviously the authorization to work with you on behalf of the borrower. So the authorization form, the detailed, realistic financial analysis. At Chase, that does not have to be on our form. The reality is, as you've heard earlier, there are loss mitigation modeling web-based applications we have to use. So the reality is it could be on a Wells Fargo form. We're going to have to type it into another system anyway, so it doesn't matter. If you can get it signed and dated, yes. I don't know that that's stopped a negotiation at Chase. I'm sure there are servicers that do require it to be signed and dated. I don't believe that Chase does. It kind of goes back to kind of covering ourselves because many of the investors have reduced their documentation standards so significantly that all that we do need is a financial analysis. So there's no equalizer, there's no proof, excuse me, proof of income necessarily. So having them sign and date it kind of covers the servicer from an audit perspective, so that if HUD or Fannie or those entities that have reduced documentation come in and audit it, we didn't just make up a bunch of numbers to slap a modification on them. This was something the borrower filled out, signed and dated. So that's the reasoning for it. I don't think we necessarily require it. Okay, so we had the authorization form, the financial analysis, proof of income. Again, you're not going to always need it, but if you can get, from what I understand, most of you that do face-to-face counseling get it anyway. So if you already have it, it's a good thing to provide. Proof of income, hardship letter, or at least a robust, sensible reason for default. I'll come back to that. And then finally, a contribution amount. Do they have any cash in hand to offset the total amount due to qualify for a workout, okay? The hardship letter and reason for default, just make sure, I guess it's not really relative to the reason for default, but the whole package, the whole 5 things that I just listed, make sure that they foot. Make sure that they work together to present a picture. You'd be surprised how many referrals we get where the financial analysis says they bring home $3,000 a month and have $1,000 in monthly surplus. The hardship letter says that they're flat broke and can't even afford their monthly payment, let alone anything more. The proof of income, and again, the financial analysis said they make $3,000 a month. Proof of income shows that they make about $1,800. Okay, what can we do with that? Most of the time, any servicer, well, they should be,